welcome to another episode on the My Fragrance Journey channel. In continuing with the theme as per the previous video, this episode is more around a fragrance 101. Let's learn something. Let me put out some knowledge, at least a little bit that I've have. And in this video, I'd like to talk a little bit about fragrance concentrations, because some people notice it when they buy fragrances and some people just don't know the difference. They just know it's a new one, I'm gonna buy it, but when it comes to fragrance concentration, EDT, most people are very familiar with Eau De Toilette, and whether there's EDPs and Eau De Parfums and Parfums, most people don't even know the difference or don't even notice. So just to start things off, I'll make it simple and just talk about the two main ones. I would say, Eau De Toilette and Eau De Parfum. Essentially, the Eau De Toilette is the usual. Most fragrances are Eau De Toilettes. Most of us starts with Eau De Toilette fragrances. They are lighter. They are very ideal for everyday use. Most of them are fresh and warm weather, daytime type of scents. They're moderately priced. Most of us can afford Eau De Toilette fragrances, but that's not a general rule. But most are moderately priced. And then when it comes to spray routines, you have to pull the trigger a little bit. Minimum 3, 5, 6 sprays to get good projection and longevity. And then usually they last around 4 to minimum, let's say from 3 to 6 hour range, is the longevity, how long they last, if they project before they become like just skin scents. And then in terms of concentration, alcohol concentration level, here it's a bit of a toss up, but from so there's two categories, let me say two ranges, 8 to 12% or 8 to 15% would be an Eau De Toilette type of concentration, alcohol concentration. And then on the other side, the EDPs, here I'll mix Eau De Parfum and Parfum. Here you're talking concentration levels of between 12 and 18 or 15 to 30% of alcohol perfume level. They are much more dense. They are those evening type of special occasion fragrances. Generally they are more expensive because higher level of quality and perfume oil level, obviously. And then here, you can get away with less sprays because they're very dense and they project, they last longer. So these ones, longevity, anything 6, 8, even 12 hours. These are like the beast mode fragrances most of the time. And one thing that I picked up, in the past 2 years or so, when I buy fragrances for myself or my wife, is that most female fragrances are Eau De Parfums. For example, if I look at my wife's collection of fragrances, most of them are Eau De Parfums or Parfums. That is, when you look at mine, there's a good number of EDTs there, Eau De Toilettes and Eau De Parfums and Parfums. So for example, just a simple example, something like this fresh, light, beautiful everyday scent, Coachman. This is an EDT Eau De Toilette. It's essentially that, it lasts long enough and not too long. Great for warm weathers, once you get hot, you perspire, it just keeps generating and it just stays there. Very nice fragrance. Compared to something like this is beast mode. So this is a Parfum version of a fragrance. It's a Parfum. This is proper longevity here. Just those 2 sprays that I've done here, it's gonna smell up until tomorrow. So these last much longer. This is a Parfum version. So you get Eau De Toilette, Eau De Parfum, and this is Parfum. So Parfum usually this is the range 15 to 30 concentration, oil level concentration. You know, they're usually much more expensive than the EDTs. So usually when you talk about the different concentrations, most fragrance lines would release an EDT as maybe the initial fragrance when it launches onto the market, and then they'll release an Eau De Parfum and then Parfum version. For example, this Le Parfum follows onto the original Youp Homme, and then followed by that Eau De Parfum, I think from 2020, and then this released 2020, early 2022, if I'm not mistaken. So usually they would start EDT and then they would move along like this. Those are the 2-3 main most common fragrance concentration, I would say. Obviously there's something called an Eau Fraiche with much lower fragrance concentration, and then you've got the colognes, which all staff fragrances, where most of them are colognes. For example, if I look at my collection here, what would be a cologne? Like for example, the Tobacco Man, it's an Eau De Cologne, and then I don't have an Eau Fraiche. Yeah, I don't think I have an Eau Fraiche. I've got something called an Eau Fraiche, but it's actually an EDT concentration. Yeah, so those are the two categories. Although I've said a lot of characteristics to differentiate between the two, sometimes these rules and these characteristics just go out the window. For example, something like this. This is Versace Blue Jeans. It's an EDT, Eau De Toilette, super strong. You know, it's fresh and it's also super strong. It's stronger than some of the Eau De Parfums and perfumes that I have. So that rule of longevity of 3 to 5 hours, 6 hours goes out the window. And then for example, on the other side, Drakkar Intense, although a beautiful fragrance, it's an Eau De Parfum, but in terms of longevity, it doesn't last that long. It's got this, it's a it's an aromatic fougere, so although it's very aromatic and very dense, it smells that way, but it doesn't last that long as compared to maybe the original here, Drakkar Noir, which is much more, it's an EDT. Despite it being an EDT, it can be super strong. So with that said, there are certain characteristics that you can read out there, but the general rule is EDT, fresher, lighter, less longevity, and then EDP usually longer lasting, cold weather, evening type of scents, date night type of scents, very dense, very, you must be careful with the sprays, for example. So sometimes it just depends upon the brand. Some brands will give you an EDT that's as strong as an EDP. Some brands will give you an EDP that's not that strong, so it's brand dependent. So yeah, with that said, please like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Till next time, peace.